Searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Short dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Scheananigans. I'm in the studio solo today, back for another round of Scheana Spills. So many questions, obviously. So we're going to get through as many as we can. I've got a lot of cards today, but I'm going to try and answer as many of these as we can in this amount of time. So starting with my Valentine's Day. How was your Valentine's Day? It was so good. Let me tell you. So Brock planned this very spontaneous day that was something like out of a movie. It reminded me of the movie No Strings Attached. That was, I don't know if it was Valentine's Day or just a date or whatever, but they did all of these really cool things in LA. And I remember one time, many, many years ago, I had recreated that for a date. This is like, I don't know, over 15 years ago. And this reminded me of that. So Brock is really good at listening. And he knew that I've always wanted to go to the Griffith Observatory and go to the planetarium. It's something that I've never done. I've lived in LA my whole life, and I've just never gotten up there to do it. So we started our night there. We went to this show all about the universe and had sunset just at the observatory. It was beautiful. It was a nice day. And that was so much fun. So we started there, and then the show was over by like 6 o'clock, and Summer was at my parents'. So we're like, well, what should we do? You know, we have the whole night ahead of us. So we then went to our friend Katie Cazorla's comedy club called the Kookaburra Lounge. And Brock just got tickets. You know, it's a comedy club. They do other types of shows there as well. But we thought comedy would be fun for our Valentine's Day. So we get there. We're literally the first people there. We sit at the bar. We're just having dinner. We have a drink. And the show doesn't start until 9. We thought the show was at 8. So we're like, okay, we need to kill some time instead of just sitting here drinking. So since we were at Hollywood and Highland, we go to Dave & Buster's. Went down there, played a bunch of games. Our competitive nature just comes out, and it was so much fun. This is all on my vlog that is already out. So we did that. Then we go back to Kookaburra. And right as we are getting up to scan our tickets, so we walk up, there's a long ass line. And I'm like, no, I don't care if this is our friend's place. We're going to wait in line. So we get to the very back of the line. By the time we get up to the front, he goes to scan the tickets. His phone's dead. Thankfully, they had his name down, and it wouldn't have been an issue either way. But it's just like, charge your phone. We talked about this last week with Gretchen on the podcast, and, you know, the grandparents not having the phone charged. And this has been a thing with Brock recently since he got the new iPhone and it has a new charger. We have the old iPhone charger that I still use in the car, in the house. He uses my computer charger sometimes, but it's just like, keep your phone charged, because what if we were somewhere else and we needed to scan the tickets and I don't know where you're logged in to get the tickets, whatever. So anyway, we get into the comedy show. I say that with air quotes there because it was not comedy night. It was burlesque night for Valentine's Day, which I love a good burlesque show. Brock, on the other hand, was so uncomfortable. He's like, I don't know where to look. I don't know what to do. Like, he was definitely not planning on that. And I had told him that they do burlesque nights at the Kookaburra Lounge. And he said, you know, if you want to do that, go with your girls. I like to go for the comedy. My girl Dina was our server. Shout out to her. She was amazing. So if you go there, say hi. And after a few acts, now it's getting late because the show did start at 10. He's like, all right, you want to just like go home, sauna, cold plunge, do our routine. So we saw a few acts. We tipped. We had some food, a couple mocktails at that point, and it was a really good night. It was fun. It was spontaneous. You know, going to Dave & Buster's was not on the Valentine's Day bingo card, but it was a lot of fun. I messaged Janet when we were there because Dave & Buster's is like her holy place. And I was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how jealous are you that you're at a staycation, but I'm at Dave & Buster's on Valentine's Day? She was very jealous. So overall, very very fun Valentine's Day, one that I will never forget. Okay, moving on. Where are you? 1 minute it's snowing and you're in winter clothing, and today warm weather. Well, that is called Palm Springs. So it was very nice and sunny in Palm Springs. But if you take the aerial tramway all the way to the top of the mountain, you can go to the snow. They have restaurants up there. Summer did a little sledding. And I mean, it's a 15-minute drive from our house. And Lance Bass and his husband, Michael, they have a house really close to us as well. And they told me that they got annual passes because you don't have to wait in line, make the reservations, do all the things. If you just drive up, it could be up to a 3-hour wait to get on one of the gondolas to go up the tramway. So we got annual passes. So now we're going to be there all the time. Summer, absolutely loved it. Incredible views. You could literally see our house from the top, and she had so much fun. We took her there a couple years ago. She didn't remember it all. So this was kind of her first time really at the snow where she might remember it. We built a snowman and it was just really cute, and we loved that. So Palm Springs, sunny 1 minute, snowing the next, you know? From your IG story, there was a baby bed in your bedroom. Does Summer sleep in your room? So in Palm Springs, she does. I only have a 3-bedroom house in Palm Springs. The front room is the guest room. The middle room is kind of like a den, but also can turn into a guest room. We have a couch, pull-out trundle sort of situation. What we're going to do, though, is actually turn that room into Summer's room. We want to have a bed on the bottom, but then stairs or a ladder that goes up, and have an area up there that's kind of like caged off so, you know, she doesn't fall down. But we have all of these blueprints or whatever they're called for how we want to make that room. But for now, I have a large bedroom. She sleeps in our room there, and it's not ideal, but it's also our vacation house. We're not there all of the time, and I like to pack as many people in that house as possible. So if that means she's in our room, it's not an issue. I also saw a lot of comments. Where's the Dyson or wireless vacuum? Why do you have a cheap vacuum cleaner? Do you have a housekeeper? Do you do all the cleaning yourself? So I had posted a story over the weekend of Summer wanting to help vacuum. It was so adorable. I'm doing all the cleaning there. We did have a housekeeper who would come out to Palm Springs, but she moved and I have not found someone else yet. So it's just my mom, myself, Brock, my sister, who's ever there. We're doing all the cleaning. And Summer was so cute. She was like, Mommy, can I have a turn? And it is a larger, you know, cheap vacuum, whatever. But she wanted to help. And so I was like, oh, okay, sure. And I thought it was so cute. She loves cleaning, organizing, helping with anything. So we did that together. And, you know, Dysons, I do have one at my house here. I also have a cheap vacuum here that sometimes it's just easier to use on the carpet. I'm not completely sold on the Dyson for the carpet. For the stairs, the hardwood floors, all of that, it's great. But sometimes the carpet in Summer's room, it's a little difficult for me. I don't know. Maybe it's me. But they are expensive, and I don't need to buy another one for my house that I'm not at all the time. And plus, like, a lot of stuff from my LA house that I don't necessarily use anymore go to Palm Springs, and we store stuff there, and it is what it is. But I do have a housekeeper in LA because that house is way too big for me to keep the floors and windows and all of that clean. I do all the little stuff, but it is nice to have someone for the deep cleaning. Why didn't you and Summer go to Hartford's birthday? I was so bummed. So the date changed because all of the fires and everything. Obviously, Stassi pushed her birthday a couple weeks, and it ended up being at the exact same time on the exact same day as Summer and Ocean's dance recital. So we weren't able to make it, and I was so bummed because it looked so adorable. She totally crushed that theme with the Wicked everything. But then on the other hand, I was like, you know what? Maybe it's best that Summer didn't go to a super awesome Wicked party, because then she would maybe want a super awesome Wicked party, and we're not doing that theme. So still sent a gift and all of that, but I was really bummed that we didn't get to make it. How do you deal with mom guilt after a night out? Well, honestly, for me, I usually go out later after Summer's already asleep. So it's like I was never gone. So I have less mom guilt in that sense. However, whenever I do get the mom guilt, I go out of town or I do need to go somewhere earlier and I'm not there to read our books at night, I just remind myself that I still have to live my life and do things that fill my cup. She absolutely does, as does Brock. But sometimes, you need a mom's night out. You need a girl's night. You need to do something, go to the spa, whatever it is. I think when you do those things that just recharge you and make you feel like the best version of yourself, then you're going to be the best version for your kids. So whenever that guilt creeps up, I just remind myself I still have to do things for me so that I feel like me. Lots of Traitors questions. Have you been watching Tom Sandoval on Traitors? If so, do you laugh as hard as me? What are your thoughts about Tom on Traitors? Can you believe he's made it this far? Yes, I have been watching Traitors. I do laugh every week. This season is so good. And Dolores actually said it best when I asked her how it went and how it was with Tom. And she said, well, Tom is Tom. And I couldn't agree more. The Tom we are seeing on Traitors seems a bit less with it than the Tom we had seen on VPR. Do you think he's getting a bad edit or did he get a more favorable edit on VPR? I mean, I think it's the same Tom, honestly. Maybe half step off pace with reality at times, but I think now you're just seeing him in a new environment around different personalities, and he doesn't have that network of people who prop him up per se. I think it's interesting, but it is seeing him in a bit of a different light. And I think we are also seeing how we can view someone differently depending on the perception of him. Tom isn't coming in as the number one guy in the group. He's basically an outcast. You saw the first day when he was there, some of the girls are like, ugh, I don't like him. I'm not talking to him. And that's probably, though, also serving his game because the Traitors don't see him as a threat. Nobody actually sees him as a traitor. So he's not going to get banished. And I feel like when someone is viewed favorably, their quirks are celebrated. Look at Carolyn. She is just crushing it. I hope she makes it all the way to the end. But also, on the flip side, when you're perceived negatively, then I feel like so are your quirks. So I think that's a bit of what we're seeing now. Another one. What did you think when Tom came for Dolores at the round table? Oh, I was so pissed. I was yelling at the TV because I'm like, first of all, I do think Dolores could be a good traitor, but don't be coming for my girl, okay? I've talked to her a little bit about this. But I did see, there's so many more questions about Traitors. I'm going to call her and see if she answers because I don't want to answer for her. I want to get it straight from her. So I'm going to take a break and then we'll be right back. All right, y'all. Whether you're tidying up, clearing out, or just want some new looks to start the new year, Wayfair's got everything you need all within your budget. Walking into my house, the first two swivel chairs I have are Wayfair, my coffee table, my bed, and most recently, all of my outdoor furniture. I'm so excited. It arrived next day. I had no idea it was going to come that quick. I haven't even set it up yet. It's still in the boxes, but I am so excited to set up my new furniture from Wayfair. I'm telling you guys, there is something for every room, every home. No matter what your decor style is, Wayfair has something for you. I literally have artwork hanging up in my bathroom that I found on Wayfair that I just thought was so cute and funny. And I was like, I need that in my studio bathroom. Something literally in every room as I walk around my house. Wayfair's huge selection of home items makes it easy to find exactly what's right for you. And any budget. I'm telling you guys, it's so affordable. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your New Year's home goals with endless inspiration for every space and budget, whether you need a light refresh or an organization overhaul. Free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. And get this, they'll even help you set it up. Find all of your spring living essentials, storage solutions, decor, and more all in one place. Give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Scheana Shay.
Dolores, how we doing?
I'm good. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm in the studio recording a solo podcast episode right now, and a lot of questions came in about Traitors. And I wanted to ask you a few questions if you have a minute.
I do. For you, Scheana, I miss you.
I miss you. I know you're feeling a little under the weather, so I just wanted to check in, see how you were feeling, and see if you were up for me picking your brain. Oh, I'm sorry.
I feel like shit. I'm tired of feeling like shit. It's always cold here. Don't come here.
I'm going to be there next month.
Okay, well, that's your problem.
I know, but
appreciate it.
it's definitely going around right now. It has been just like in our family, from Summer to Brock to me to my mom, just in circles. Everyone right now. I know.
Horrible. Yeah.
So I was just mentioning that when I had first asked you about your time on Traitors, I was like, okay, and how was it with Tom Sandoval? And you said, well, Tom was Tom. Wanted to see if you could elaborate on that a little more now that I've seen it.
Tom is, I would describe him as like a puppy who does something wrong and then doesn't know why he's getting hit for it. Like I just shit on the floor. Why are you mad at me? Like, why am I getting hit for shitting on the floor? That's Tom Sandoval. Like, he just doesn't know. And there's also a part of Tom, and maybe unpopular opinion, but I'm going to say it. He is not a violent person that I know. The Tom that I know, and for what I've seen, because here's the thing, Scheana, I don't even know if I should be going into this because I shouldn't. But when everybody was mad at him and people were yelling at him and Lala was screaming at him and what's his name? Kennedy was screaming at him. Everybody's screaming and calling him names. He sat there and took it, you know? And maybe he felt like he deserved it, and that's why. But I'm come from a place where whether they deserve it or not, somebody's going to get their teeth knocked out. But I never saw Tom get to that, like, nasty, angry.
Yeah.
He could be a jerk. He could be a big jerk off. He could be a total asshole. But there was a part of him that I find like I'm so used to like people that act like him, usually a violence follows with that. I don't see that in him, you know?
Yeah, not since the early seasons of Vanderpump Rules when he knocked out Jax and then James.
Oh, I give him credit. Oh, he knows how to knock people out. I didn't even know he had it in him.
Yeah, there was blood at my engagement party.
Drunk?
Season 2.
I missed that. Was everyone drunk? Were they drunk? I remember
I
your
think
wedding,
so. Yeah.
Well, okay, so how hard is it to beat someone up that's falling anyway? So,
But, Jax did sleep with his girlfriend, so.
Well, and there you go.
Yeah. Okay, I have to ask you. So at the round table, when you voted to banish Tom, did you ever think he was really a traitor?
You just couldn't. You never knew.
Yeah.
You really just never knew. I voted out of anger because he came for me for no reason. There was no, I know Dolores is a chick. Oh, yeah. All my friends just got, every single ally I had there just got murdered.
I know.
Harper, my best friend. Why would I do that? How stupid are you, Tom? And why would I get rid of people who would have protected me?
Right.
Dumb.
Yeah. I know.
And then he was like the first one to say, you're not playing the game right. You're not playing the game right.
He's been terrible at the game. He's been wrong about everyone except Boston Rob, and that was kind of obvious.
Right. So if you talk to Wes, he'll say, I put Boston Rob on a silver platter.
Yeah.
That's what Wes says.
I loved Boston Rob. Even though he was a traitor, I was sad to see him go.
There's something about Boston Rob that people love.
Yeah.
What is it?
I think he's got a charm to him. I remember liking him when he was on Survivor back in the day.
I think that's what it is. I think he has that stigma of the guy that everybody See, I didn't know those stories. I'm not a Survivor, Big Brother person, whatever. So Boston Rob has this stigma of this like knight in shining armor for his wife or something, right? Like,
yeah.
And that stayed with him. It's like the same reason I always look at Al Pacino like Michael Corleone when he was younger. Like, no matter how old he is or what he looks like, I still see that good-looking Italian guy that I fell in love with when I was little. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I get it. That's what I think, Scheana.
Yeah. Was there any discussion about a Bravo alliance early on?
Right out of the box.
Yeah. I wish.
Always.
Yeah.
We were targets. Because Bravo does stick together in those instances. But I think this season broke that mold because would have stuck together if we would have stayed for 3 minutes. But I think that it's like these theories, right? It's high probability you're a traitor if you're a housewife. So you have nothing to go on other than things that happened in the past. But do you think the people that make traitors are not going to make it tricky for you?
Right. And
so, yeah.
I didn't think they would do back-to-back seasons of Housewives as traitors either. But you never know, because then maybe they do just to throw people off. So it's like you really never know. I can't imagine what it's like being in that castle. I mean, I am such a bad judge of character at a lot of times. So I'm like, I think I would just like believe everyone. I'm like, oh, you're faithful. You're faithful. Like,
you're so cute.
Oh,
well, that's, you know, you can look at it two ways. You could look at everyone's a traitor or everyone's a faithful,
right?
And then just play from there.
Totally. On the night that Sierra was banished, do you recall who you really wanted to vote for that night?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a long time ago now.
Right. When did you guys film that?
It was in the summer.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I mean,
back in May.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a minute.
Yeah.
Which banishment or murder surprised you the most, or have we not seen it yet?
To be honest, when no matter who you voted for, when they get up there and tell you who they are, you're still in shock.
Yeah.
Even if you thought they were a traitor, if you thought they were a faithful, and they get up there, when you hear it directly from the person standing on that circle, it's still a shock to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're never like, oh, I knew it. Because you're always voting with some uncertainty, unless you're another traitor.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Who were you closest to in the castle?
Oh, well, I got so close with, these are like Bob Harper. He was sitting next to me. We became in love. And, but then I loved everyone. Sierra's like my little mini me.
Yeah.
She speaks just like me. And Gabby and Chriselle, oh my God. So adorable, so cute. I'm an honorary lesbian now. They taught me like how to be like pro-woman and all this stuff. I love it.
Oh, I love that. How did you pick out your wardrobe for this? Like, especially, the wedding episode and...
I had a group of stylists.
Okay.
So I had someone called Styled by Sonica, the Style Duo, and Colson and Modesto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to come in with how many looks?
Well, you have to do it. I forget how many they tell you. I had 4 full everyone had like 4 full suitcases.
Wow.
Suitcases. Tom's luggage was lost the first
Oh, I heard that. I remember seeing that somewhere.
When Tom walked in looking like Top Gun, that's when you knew his luggage came in, and that was not from the
kilt. What was he like in the castle?
He's comedic relief.
Yeah.
He really is. He really is.
I saw.
He's very intense. Like he would rather get the attention of people listening to him than have someone, even like him. He doesn't care if you like him or not. Tom don't care.
At this point.
That's not important. Attention for Tom is an important thing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Scheana, you know him better than me.
No, totally. You're spot on. I had heard a part of a podcast that Brittany and Carolyn did where she said that in the dollhouse, I guess there was like a fake trumpet or something that Tom picked up and started trying to play. And I was like, that's the most Tom Sandoval thing that could have happened on Traitors.
Oh my God. When he was trying to sing, at one point when I was on the other end of the phone, Dylan goes, Tom, singing louder doesn't mean it's better. Okay.
Oh my God. Would you have wanted to be a traitor?
I was offended when I wasn't picked, but then I'm like, I'm so glad. No, I wouldn't have wanted to be a traitor. You know, you sit in front of Alan and you have this conversation with him. And you say, should I be a traitor? Like he says, would you be this or a faithful or a traitor? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then like, I guess some people said, oh, I'm a traitor or whatever. That is a heavy burden.
Yeah, it is.
And you can see in the past seasons how the weight of lying, okay, I'm not a liar. And I don't know how people live lying all the time. To me, that is such a heavy cross to bear when you lie, because it's almost like it can always come back to you. It never goes away until you admit to it, and then it still lingers. Like, and even though it's a game and even though it's everything, to get close to somebody like you or somebody that you become friends with there, and to have to look them in the face and be like, yeah, no.
Right.
And then to accuse someone else of being something and putting the blame on, I mean, it'll drive you around the bend. Mm-hmm. I think it like the boxer, what's his name, that had to leave last season because oh my gosh, Peppermint left.
Yes. Brock and I were talking about that. He was like, so just like, I can't do this anymore.
No. And, you know, especially where I come from, like my family is so big on, if you're going to accuse somebody of something, you better know for sure. These are just things that really just stick with you. You have to go against your grain on things.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever suspect Danielle or Carolyn?
No.
Wow.
No, I didn't suspect Carolyn because she was too emotional. And I thought, how can somebody so emotional have this job that I consider so? But they're gamers.
Yeah.
Always suspect a gamer.
Yeah.
They're a different breed.
Right.
If you have a choice between a gamer or a non-gamer as a traitor, suspect the gamer first.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I have one last thing to ask you about non-traitors. If you were casting a Real Housewives of New Jersey ultimate girls trip, who would you want to bring with you?
Who would I bring? You know, I really miss everyone. I do. I would take any single person from there.
Well, I hope to continue to see you on my TV screen because Traitors has been so amazing having you back on. I miss you on The Housewives,
thank you, Scheana.
Of course. Well, thank you for taking the time.
Scheana, yes.
Tell Paulie I said hi.
Hi.
I will. All right. I love you.
Baby girl, a kiss for me. Love you.
I will. I'll be there next month and I'll message you.
Yes, please. Scheana.
All right.
If I'm here, I'll see you. All right, sweetheart.
Feel better. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we're going to take another break and be right back with some more of your questions. Okay, so when I had my baby, I expected to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and, maybe even a little anxious, but I never expected the terrifying thoughts that took over my mind, y'all. I was struggling with postpartum OCD, but like so many others with OCD, I actually had no idea. I just felt alone, confused, scared, all of the feels. And that's why I want to get one thing straight. OCD is not just about liking things clean or in order. It's a serious condition that can make you question everything about yourself, drain your energy, take over your life with fear. And that's what OCD did to me. And that's what it's doing right now to thousands of people. But many of them have no idea what they're struggling with because OCD is so misunderstood. OCD causes people to get stuck in a cycle of stressful, unwanted thoughts, which are called intrusive thoughts. I learned that through therapy in the last couple of years. It's the repetitive behaviors that people do in an attempt to make the fear, doubt, or anxiety from those intrusive thoughts go away, even though the relief never lasts. What makes OCD so painful is that the intrusive thoughts often focus on the things we care about the most. And for me, it was summer. It was my baby. For others, it's, their families, relationships, or beliefs. And I've been there, so I know how terrible it feels. I wish I had known sooner that there's actually treatment that works. And that's why I wanted to tell you about NOCD. With NOCD, you can do a virtual therapy with a licensed therapist who specializes in treating OCD. They really understand, so you can feel safe opening up to them about what you're going through, and they know how to help you take your life back. NOCD therapists are trained in a type of therapy called ERP, or exposure and response prevention. It's the most effective treatment for OCD, and NOCD makes it affordable with insurance coverage for over 155 million Americans. They also provide support between therapy sessions, so you're never alone. I know what it's like to suffer from OCD in silence and how hard it can be, but I also know that with the right care, you can get to a place where those distressing thoughts don't have power over you anymore, and you're able to do what you want to do. So if you relate to any of this, or if you want to help a loved one who's struggling, you can learn more by booking a free 15-minute call with NOCD. Just go to NOCD.com to schedule your free call and get connected with someone who can help. All right, back to your questions. When will we know what your role is on The Valley? Will it be more in season 3? Are you a friend of or full-time cast member on The Valley? What will my role be? Honestly, I don't know. I hung out with my friends last summer. Cameras happened to be there, and I never know what they will use of it. And if there is a season 3, based on what happened season 2, I definitely think there will be a season 3. But of course, if that's an offer, that's something I would absolutely consider because I had fun this summer. I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm doing the things that I would normally already be doing anyways. So I think if I'm going to continue on in reality TV, then this would be an organic step to take. So we'll see. Stay tuned. And of course, questions about Vanderpump Rules came in. Oh, this is an interesting one. Do you get paid royalties on old VPR episodes? Absolutely not. We are non-union. What are your thoughts on Laura Lee doing the VPR Party podcast? I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just keep seeing clips. I don't know how many episodes she's done by now, but I'm like, I thought there was a part 2, but then I saw more stuff with her. You know what? Good for her. She has her new animated series, Jurassic, that she's done. And she's always been a really creative and talented person. So, it's nice to see her back, and I hope she's doing well. Is Pandora still friends with everyone? I think so. I don't know. You have to ask her. What was your favorite reunion look throughout the 11 seasons? I think my last 2 looks were the best. Honestly, I feel like I topped it each year. Like season 1, 2, 3, 4. All of the ones when we were at SUR, those were dresses I got from a little store on Melrose. I honestly still have so many of them. So I was just in Palm Springs this weekend, and I've thought about this for years. What's the best way to do it? I'm not going to do it to get the money from my clothes. I don't need that, but I want the clothes to go to the right place. So I'm like, do I auction them off for charity? Do I do a Depop and the money that I make from the clothes I donate to a specific charity? I'm not really sure, but comment below if you guys are watching this on YouTube and let me know. I thought about doing a post and saying if there is any look from all 11 seasons on Vanderpump Rules that you like, whether it's a scene, an interview, a reunion, send me a screenshot of that. And I probably still have it in my closet because I have saved so many as I think iconic looks. But let me know what you think would be best to do with those because the closet's full and I need it to be more empty. So still trying to figure that out. Are we going to see you in any new reality shows? Would you ever go on another reality TV show? I'm just going to say yes. Thoughts on Katie talking about you on the Boyfriend Material podcast? Did you see the Katie podcast comments? If so, what are your thoughts and where do you stand with her? Yeah, I got a lot of questions about this topic. Honestly, I don't really know how to answer this because yes, the clip was sent to me many times, and Katie had said there was a girl on the show who would spoil scenes by texting their boyfriend or husband or whatever was happening, versus waiting for them to find out on camera. So aside from Katie, there's only been 2 girls who had boyfriends who turned into husbands on the show, and that was myself and Brittany. And I know both of us had been guilty of that in the past. So I'm not sure, honestly, which one of us she's talking about. I do recall when Brittany first came onto the show, you know, her learning curve to hold reaction for cameras and all of that. When anyone's new in this industry, it is tough. You know, it's like you want to tell your person everything that just happened, but you know, you have a scene tomorrow morning. So why repeat it and have to reenact it? It just, you get used to it, but it is a learning curve. And I know that she would text Jax and tell him stuff, and I've been guilty of that. Like, especially season 9 with all of the Brock stuff. I remember sitting at tea at Lisa's house. Lala says what she says to me. And the stuff with Brock's kids, once it got brought up, I immediately, absolutely text him. And at the same time, he was filming. So you got his reaction on camera. I knew he was filming with the guys. I think he like punched a tree or something. I don't know. But I remember you saw an angry reaction based on what I had texted him. So you were still getting the storyline. So if she was talking about me, I'm like, yeah, I would text him because that is what I would normally do. But also, he was filming. So you still got his reaction on camera. I didn't have to tell it to his face. He read his text. He told the guys. And boom, you got a scene. So that's the tricky thing, though, about being authentic on reality TV, because you're also trying to protect people in your life who you care about, but you're trying to do your job. And sometimes people didn't necessarily sign up for this. Sometimes they did, or they're not getting paid the same level. But, you know, I've also never had a partner on the show who's getting paid like Katie and Tom and Ariana, Brittany, Jax, where it is both of their jobs. So it's a bit of a different position to be in for myself. Now, moving forward, you know, if Brock and I ever do another show, I do think we'll be on the same playing field. So that might be a little different. But people bring things up on camera, and whether it's true or not, once it's said once, it's out there. All you need to do is say it once, and that just puts a doubt in one person's mind. And then it just, the whole snowball effect. So, you know, Brock was new to this world. He shared some very personal things off camera that he didn't think would make it on camera because he was naive. I did try to protect him as best as I could. But after what happened with Rob, I mean, honestly, I was afraid that these negative things, you know, coming up on camera might be too much for Brock. And I just didn't want to spoil that connection that we were building. So I tried to protect it as much as I could. But it's a lot. You know, it's one thing when you're getting paid. It's another when you're not, and your whole business is just put out there for the world. But with all of that said, I don't know if Katie was referring to me or Brittany. You would have to ask Katie herself. Okay, moving on. Have you heard from Jax recently? Any awkward school run-ins? How does he feel about the Jax-Hole? No awkward school run-ins. Don't know if he knows about the Jax-Hole, but he actually did reach out to me just a couple days ago to congratulate me on the book, and it was really nice. He sent me a very well thought out message, and I really appreciated that. So, you know, it sounds like he's on his healing journey. I wish him the best for himself and his family. And we're still going to keep the Jax-Hole. It's not always going to be him. Today, I think it's going to be my husband. But, you know, it's a funny little segment. If you can't laugh at it, then... Are you going on a summer book tour? Will you release book tour dates? Yes and yes. They're not set yet, but as soon as I have those, absolutely. When did you start writing the book? How long have you had the book in the works? So I started meeting with collaborators end of 2023, and then in the spring kind of came more to fruition, started working on the book proposal, sold that summer 2024, and then end of summer, fall through like mid-December, that was just full speed ahead writing the entire book in honestly like less than 4 months. The whole book was finished. And are you nervous about your book coming out? Yes, I am. I'm very nervous. I'm excited. I'm nervous because all of the skeletons that have maybe been kept in closets are right here in this book for the whole world to read July 22nd. So it's exciting that I'm just going to get everything off my chest that I've always wanted to say. But at the same time, that's a vulnerable spot to be in. And it is a little scary, You never know how people are going to take it. But if you read this book and you still don't like me, that's okay. Hopefully you just understand me a little better. Do you have a favorite chapter in your book or one that really stuck out we should look forward to? I will say that my favorite and the one you're all going to be talking about most definitely are not the same. So there's that. Did writing the book get easier or more challenging as you got further into the process? A little bit of both. It was challenging figuring out what to put in, what was too much, I am a very good storyteller and I tend to, in a Dorit way, be long-winded at times. So figuring out what stories from my childhood are important to my story today, who I am, how it shaped me, and narrowing down things I think was challenging. How does your book compare to other books from VPR cast? I think this book is different from books that my friends have written. It's not advice or funny stories. I mean, well, there are funny stories in there, but there's not necessarily advice. There's a lot of mistakes that I've made that hopefully others can learn from. But yeah, this is a memoir. And I know people say like, you're only 39, a memoir, what could you possibly write about? How interesting could it be? You've been on a show for 11 seasons. You've done a podcast for 7 years. You have vlogs, thousands of hours of content. What else could there be to know? Well, I mean, there's certainly some stuff in the book that you will be familiar with, just maybe not the full picture or things I never gave my side. But there's a lot of my journey that I haven't shared, whether that was to protect myself or others, stuff about my family, my relationships, my traumas. Writing this book, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's been very cathartic, very therapeutic, and honestly, very eye-opening. It helped me connect the dots on where certain behaviors or tendencies of mine originated. Went back to, when did boy crazy Scheana first start? There's, why am I a people pleaser, a flip-flopper? I really have grown a lot through this process, and I think it's made me a more empathetic friend, a more patient mom, hopefully a better spouse, but it's also helped me set better boundaries for myself, which I'm not always great with. I'm trying to be better, and I think this helped. And it's brought out a better, more authentic side of me. I think so. I hope so when you read it. But I've really peeled back all of the layers. And with that said, I am excited, but I am nervous for the book to come out. And hopefully when my daughter reads it one day, she knows that this was all written just coming from a place of wanting to fully share my story so that I can hopefully help others who are going through similar things. All right, a few more things to wrap it up. Thoughts on the Paige and Craig breakup? Seems like it's getting messy. Yeah, breakups are hard, especially in the public eye when couples break up and say it's perfectly amicable, blah, blah, blah. When has that ever been the case? So I'm extending them both grace. Splitting up isn't easy, no matter if you initiated it or you didn't. You wanted it. It was the right way. It's never easy. Have you spoken to Teddy since she revealed she has a brain tumor? I have been in contact with Tamara almost daily, just keeping in touch and getting updates. Teddy, Tamara, and I, we've had our little disputes over things that have been said on the podcast here and there. Most recently was with the Captain Jason episode, but we spoke then. They were in New Orleans for Super Bowl. And we talked through it. Everything was totally fine. And then, bam, a couple days later, life, it can just change in an instant. But I have always had so much love and admiration for Teddy. I look up to her as a mother, as a woman, as a businesswoman, everything. Every time I go and get my skin checked, I feel like I just want to tell her, you are my inspiration and you are a reminder of just staying on top of your health. And just sending her so many prayers, so much love, and just really hoping that her healing is soon. And prayers, just keep them going up for her, please. Oh, and I also saw on Instagram this week that Katie Thurston was just diagnosed with breast cancer. It's so many young women in their 30s are getting diagnosed with breast cancer. I just went and got my first mammogram. It was an order that I got 3 months ago at my annual PAP, and I put it off. I was like, well, I'm not 40 yet. I don't need to go yet. And then when all of this happened with Teddy, I'm just like, you never know. I'm just going to go. I'm going to get it done. And waiting on those results. Hopefully everything's good. Everything feels okay, but you never know. So, women, please stay on top of all of your checks. Get your annual pap smears, get your mammograms, get your skin checked, do all of the things because you have to advocate for yourself, And I was telling Captain Jason this when we were just talking about his melanoma. And I was like, you need to make sure you get your PET scans and you just stay on top of that, really advocate for yourself. If you feel something is wrong, something probably is wrong. If you need a second opinion, go get that second opinion. Okay, couple more things. What's one thing you'd do that's hard for you to do now if you weren't famous? I guess even this morning it happened too. I had to take the trash out and the trash cans are still in the front of the house and I had my face mask on, the white, crazy face mask that you see on TikTok and Instagram. And I was like, I walk out and there's a mom with her 2 kids right there. And I'm just like, hi. But then I was like, oh my God, what if there was paparazzi just outside of my house, which often they are. So I think things like that, just being out in public, not having to worry about how someone sees you. What would your death row meal be? This is something I've thought about often. Not that I think I will ever be on death row, but it's changed. It used to be a filet mignon. And then when I thought about it, I was like, you know what? No, I would want my death row meal to be anything that my mom makes because there's just something that hits different when your mom makes it for you. My mom made me a grilled cheese sandwich yesterday. It's just bread and cheese and butter, but there's no way I could make a grilled cheese taste that good. So anything my mom makes, that would be my meal. Okay, I saw this one and this is actually funny. Do you feel better without implants? What was your reason for removing? Never had them, just had milk that is no longer there. So, no, a lot of people think that I took my breast implants out and I've just never had them. I provided breast milk for 1 year and then they shrunk back up. So, what is your skincare routine? I love going to see my girl, Kayla. It's at Kayla Aesthetics on Instagram. She's on Melrose. She has this really cute little place. And she does the best hydrofacial I've ever gotten. So I try to do that at least once a month. And then I do the overnight sleep masks that you see on TikTok shop or Instagram. And moisturizing every day, SPF on my face every day. especially when I'm in the desert. My face gets really dry, so try to always keep it hydrated. What's your favorite thing to do for self-care? Get a massage. Does Brock's training make you want to do an Ironman too? Absolutely not. Would you ever visit New Zealand? I have, and I really want to go back. Summer needs to meet her grandpa in person, and whether that's us flying him out here or her getting there, got to make that happen soon. How do you handle being friends with so many different groups of people? You know what? It's fun. It adds variety to my life. I've got like my band group of friends, my show friends, my mom friends, school friends, and I love it. I love having a bunch of groups. Okay, we're going to rapid fire this. Someone sent through a list of a bunch of questions about my favorite things. So quickly, color, pink, movie theater snack, popcorn, a Sprite, and Sour Patch Kids. Season, spring, because that's when my birthday is. Gel or acrylics? Gel X or acrylics? It's not just the gel polish on my nails. It's got to be the Gel X. Last time you cried? Well, in therapy this morning, I was just saying, I can't remember the last time I cried. Although now that I think about it, it was the last time I was in therapy. So a couple weeks ago. Beach or mountain? Beach. Festival or pop-up show? Festival. Holiday. Ooh, Christmas has been so fun with summer. Yeah, we're going to stick with that. Holiday movie. Love Actually. Most annoying thing Brock does. He doesn't put his clothes in the hamper. He just leaves them on the floor. He always leaves his closet light on. It just drives me insane. Just turn the fucking light off, you know? And with that, the Jax-Hole of the week is going to my husband for not charging his phone and for when he got a new phone, not immediately sharing his location with me because it said he was home when he wasn't home. And then Summer and I were upstairs. We thought he was downstairs. She got really disappointed when she wasn't home because the little blue dot, said he was there. But we talked about this last week when Gretchen was on the podcast again, just like keep your phones charged, keep your location on, because I have really gnarly OCD and anxiety, and I like to know that my people are safe. So charge your phone, okay? Thank you guys all for listening. Please take a moment to do a self-breast check. It is so important. Get your skin checked. I cannot emphasize that enough. Stay on top of it. If you haven't seen your doctor in a while for a checkup, this is your sign to call and make an appointment. Get that scheduled. I know life gets busy and we often put ourselves and our own health to the back burner. But like I said, if something feels off, it might be off. So don't avoid it. Get it checked out. And if you haven't already, My Good Side is available for pre-order now at mygoodsidebook.com. I'll see you back here again next week. Thanks for sending in all of your questions and spending this time with me. See you next week. Bye.